Okay, hi everybody, and I'd like to welcome my guest for this evening's Tribe Talks, the gorgeous vintage Irish cat, aka Pre-Loved by Shay and Joe. I want to ask you, by the way, where that name came from, aka Katrina Carroll. Thank you for joining me tonight, Katrina.
Hi, Stephanie.
Do you prefer cat or
to be here? Delighted to be here.
Oh, thanks. And do you prefer cat or Katrina? What's your preference?
Oh, call me Cat. Call me Cat.
Yeah, I prefer Steph as well. People call me Stephanie. I feel like they're telling me off.
Yeah.
It's kind of my business.
Yeah, my mother and my sister will call me Katrina. That's all. Yes. Everybody else calling me Cat.
Yeah. Well, Cat it is then. So thanks so much for joining me, like I said. And I am fascinated by your Instagram page because I just love how you're just really you. And that's why I wanted to have you on here, because I'm a coach and I'm trying to encourage people to be more of themselves and to uncover their real selves.
Yes, yes.
So interested to talk to you about how you do that, and were you always like that? So we crack into that.
I was definitely not always like that. I think definitely in my teenage years, maybe early 20s, I was always trying to be in a gang to fit in, if that makes sense. So I'd buy them certain clothes because certain people had them, and everyone was wearing it, so I had to have it. I was very much like that, and it wasn't actually until later in my 20s and I went traveling, and it really did change me, and it made me kind of discover myself and go, actually, Kat, this is you. This is what you want to be. Don't be afraid. And it takes it quite a while, to be honest with you. It's not like, oh, overnight I woke up and I'm going to dress the way I want to dress, and I'm going to, have my home the way I want. It was definitely not an overnight thing. But certainly as I got older, the less I worry about what people think, to be honest with you. I will certainly walk down the street and I'll wear whatever I want to wear. And I get stared out of it. And I'm just like, hi. So I think teenagers, there's an awful lot of peer pressure on you. There's an awful lot, and I'll try and speak to my girls about that. I'm like, no, try to be different, girls, because you want them to be different, and that's what makes people stand out, I feel, anyway.
But isn't it funny, you were saying something there and it struck me straight away, that we all want to be seen as special, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we're terrified to stand out. And it's a really difficult balance that a lot of people are trying to manage.
No, it is. And then people might think you're very special, and you don't want that. Do you know what I mean? So that's the other side of that coin, where you're like, people think, no, she's just weird, instead of going, actually, she's really individual. She's very original. And I think that I love to kind of preach that to people, and be kind of outstanding there, Yeah.
And how old are your girls now?
Oh, they are. Nancy is 6 in 2 weeks. I can't believe it. And Bonnie is 2.5.
They're lovely names.
Yeah.
But even that, like, you pick names that are really individual, for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now they'll probably hate me when they're older, going, Mom, why did you call me Nancy? But at the moment they like their names. So
I was always the only Stephanie in the school. So and
really?
I was fine with that.
Oh yeah. Nancy is the only one in school. And even if I'm walking along the road, and it's always older women, right? And when they find out her name is Nancy, her name is Nancy. Oh God, I haven't heard that in years, and I just love that. I love that reaction. I'm just like, yeah.
My little nephew is called Arthur after our granddad, who was adored. And oh my God, I just love that name.
Like, I love it.
Yeah, and it is an old-fashioned name, but it's just gorgeous.
No, but it's cool. It's a cool name. Yeah.
And he's a cool little dude. He's a cool dude. Yeah. He owns his name.
And you know what? That's a strong name. Good old Arthur.
Yeah. Yeah. And to call him after somebody that we all adored so much. I mean, he already has all that, that gorgeousness wrapped up in that name.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah. So you're already encouraging the girls to be individual, and that's a difficult thing to do. I mean, I'm doing it here with my
Oh no, it's so difficult, because Nancy's like, I want to get that because blah 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 has that, and I'm like, no, but you can have something different. I want that. And she's only 5, so I'm like, okay, you can have it. It'll be the teenagers where I'll have to work a bit harder.
But you'll remember all that stuff that you've planted, because you're like sowing seeds now. So
yeah, I hope so. Anyway.
And tell me about then your house. So I'm obsessed with your house.
So
And I'm
yeah, we
admiring
bought
your
this
bits behind you.
house. Yeah, we bought this house in 2016, and it was built in, I think, 1964, and we had to gut the whole place because nothing had been done to it. So by the time we moved in, all like we spent about 40, 50 grand on things that looked like we got nothing done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
got new windows, we got the whole place insulated, we had to get it all rewired, we had to get it plastered, we got a whole new kitchen. And then after that, it was we've no money left. So I was diving into skips, I was on adverts, I was at flea markets, and I just filled my home with all DIY stuff and secondhand stuff, and I just love it. I love anything with a bit of history and a story. It fascinates me. It fascinates me. So, yeah, pretty much everything except the sofa and our bed.
You don't want to get that out of a skip, I suppose.
No, like I think the two things you need to invest in your home is a good settee and a good bed, because we like our sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, it's nice to be able to have things that are a little more disposable. And I'm not really into disposable fashion or disposable interiors, but it's nice to be able to change that cushion because it didn't cost you,
of course,
€100 in Brent Thomas or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah. And tell me, did you do all that skip diving pre getting your house, or was the house the kind of catalyst for being a lot more?
Jesus, yeah. Like I was driving my mother mad because I'd be like hoarding up stuff. She's like, Katrina, you don't even have the keys yet. Like, and I had a table, then I had a chair, and she was just like, oh my God. She was dying to get rid of us. Oh yeah, like I even bought like, still to this day, people compliment me on them if I have them on my stories. And I bought 4 of these gorgeous kind of engraved glasses in Lidl about 8 years ago. And I'm like, they're from my house. I hadn't even got a pot to piss in. Like, I had nothing. And then I'm like, they're from my house. Like, hilarious. But anyway, I kept them up, and then I have them. I'm delighted. Like,
I love those stories because, again, I know when I got my first apartment, I couldn't afford anything. And I was even walking around on concrete floors for the first year, because I couldn't afford carpets. But every time I got one thing, I would just sit and stare at that thing. I still do it now. And obviously I can afford more now, but I do something in the house and I'll just sit and watch it and look at it and love it. And
I know, it's hilarious, isn't it? It's mad.
Have you always been into crafting and interior design?
No, like I was never into interior design until I actually got my house, to be honest with you. But crafting, I've always been a bit crafty. I love art. I love being artistic. So yeah, I've always loved that. I've always had an interest in that, and it was always one of the only subjects in school that I enjoyed. But yeah, interior design only came about when I bought my house, and then you're kind of researching things, and then you're like, oh my God, that's what I want, and you're making a little mood board for yourself. You get overexcited as per usual.
I love mood boards, and I still have my lists I made when I moved in here first, with all the different things I want to do in each room, and so satisfying ticking them off.
I know.
Do you have a favorite thing, like a real like success story of something you turned into something that you adore?
Oh my God, there's so many things that I've done and I've changed. Let me think. Oh, Stephanie, you've put me on the spot here now. And I'm looking around the house here now. But I think definitely one thing that I love is the playroom for the girls, because it's outrageously colourful, and I wanted it to represent children, to be honest with you, because when I first moved in, I was making it a very vintage style. I was going with my own style. I had kind of antique toys that I picked up. What was I thinking? Because sure, Jesus, they were throwing them around. Do you know what I mean? And like, you'll see, even if you find the episode of Home of the Year, actually, did they go into the playroom? I don't think they did, because you're probably like, oh, that's a bit boring. But now it's like an absolute burst of a rainbow in there. Like, and I was just like, this is not for you, Kat. This is for your kids. And my kids spend so much time in there. They absolutely love it. And there's a fireplace in there. And of course, I'd love to have a lovely stove and lovely tiling. But I'm like, no, that's a few years down the line. And I just made a little curtain for it. I coloured it up. It's just
I love it. I saw it the
it
other
was
day.
all about the kids, and I think sometimes people forget about that in regards to, you know, like, and especially when they're trying to design a kids room. I'm like, is that for you or for the child?
Yeah,
Like,
I totally agree. Yeah.
People forget about that, and I'm like, look, I never had an amazing room growing up. Do you know what I mean? I had Kylie Minogue on my wall, and I had Bros and all. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, oh my, I'm wet, wet, wet. All their posters all over the place.
Vintage. I thought you were way younger than me.
Yeah.
I went to see Wet, Wet, Wet twice when they came to Ireland.
Oh no, my sister's mad about them. So me and my sister shared a room. So there was wet, wet, wet all over the place. And there's me with Jason and Kylie. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody told me I looked like her when I was 16, and I swear to God, I've never forgotten that compliment. I like, she still is my icon.
Oh no, she's some woman, isn't she? She's some woman.
Yeah,
oh, but no, look, I just think people need to remember when they're doing a nursery or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was doing a collab for Bonnie's nursery, and I was putting like this kind of curtain up over her cot, and then fairy lights. Sure, it was for the photo shoot. It was for the collab. I had to take it down straight away. She'd strangulate herself. Like, you know, like, it's just like, this is for show, take it away. But it's just not realistic. You know, it is really not realistic. And it was just for that collab, and that's it. But then other people who actually don't do collabs or whatever, I'm like, will you do your room for your child? Like, I didn't have a fancy interior room at all. Like, you know, that wouldn't even cross my mother's mind. So I'm like, let's have fun in the house and make it colorful. And because if you go into a classroom, you're like, oh my God, look at all the colorful stuff, because that's what kids want. Yeah.
You're not a bit afraid of color, and I love that.
No, absolutely not. Why would you be? You know, and I think the whole thing when you buy your home, this is the thing, and it makes me laugh so much. When people buy their home, they definitely go for grays a lot. Okay, so you'll see, the gray walls, and I'm going to get grey furniture to match that, and I'm going to get the grey velvet couch, and I'm going to get, and it's only because it is lovely, don't get me wrong, but they're just like, oh, like, it looks nice and it's lovely and it's modern and stuff. But again, people are afraid. They're afraid of colour. I don't know why though, you know.
I know, and particularly on walls. Sure, look, if it's awful, you just paint over it. No, it's not too much of a big deal, you know.
That's what I always say to people. If I'm doing a DIY on my stories, I'm like, look, it's paint. If I don't like it, I'll paint it over.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful, because again, in the world of Instagram, there's a lot of greige, and you know, it's very beautiful. It's very nice in the eye. But again, that's why I really fell in love with your stories when I was directed your way, because I do love having fun with interiors. I just love it.
Yeah, you have to. And again, you can change it anytime you want. That's the thing. It's not permanent, you know.
And aren't we so lucky? You know, myself and my husband say this all the time. We're so lucky to live in a gorgeous house where we can play with stuff and have fun with it, compared to the majority of the world who can't do that. So we should enjoy it and appreciate it.
Watching a Zoom thing.
Hey Karen, can you put yourself on mute there? It's all right. It's the Zoom. It's what we say on Zoom. We don't say it on Zoom. The Zoom didn't happen, Karen. And is your whole house decorated? I want to ask you that earlier. Are you done? Because
I'm never done, Stephanie. I'm never done. I wreck my husband's head. Yeah. So this living room will be getting a little makeover. I've got a new paint for it, so it does need a paint job because it's gone very dusty. And this is the only room I haven't touched since we moved in. Like, I obviously did this, decorated it, but yeah, no, I'll never be done. That's my problem. That is my problem.
But I worry when I'm done. I'm kind of worried about when I am done. And
yeah.
Sadly, we had a leak in our bathroom last summer, and some of the tiles had to come up, and we can't replace them. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to redo it. But it hasn't been redone since we got here. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, is it?
Exactly. Oh God, is that ruined? Oh no, we need a new one. Yes.
Exactly. So you're never finished. And have you got like a little plan in your head of what's next?
Oh yeah, there's always this is the problem with me. I have too many ideas and plans, and I don't know how to slow down, like, you know, one thing at a time. So yeah, there's always plans going in, like, you know.
And tell me then about your Instagram pages. So you've got two, and you've got your clothes and jewelry business.
So I have my vintage Irish cat, and to be honest, I am very much, I'll go at my own pace. Like, you know, I will, there's sometimes where I haven't posted on my grid in 5, 6 days. I'm really not, I've really come away from, I really don't care about follows or likes or engagement. I don't let it get to me anymore. I really don't. And I just go with the flow. And ever since I've changed my mindset in that, it's just more enjoyable, Stephanie, you know. And I think people put so much pressure on themselves going, why did I only get 200 likes? Why didn't I get it? Give it over. Stop that. No, you know, like it's not, it doesn't do anything for you. Like if you get 50,000 likes and 1,000 likes, what's the difference for you? Like, you know. And I always say this, and I always be very honest and upfront with people. Don't get carried away with that, because it really is not important. It's not important.
And did you grow to understand that? Did you have a while where you were a little bit more
Oh,
cautious?
absolutely. Oh, sweet Jesus, yeah. Like when I first started out, I had to post every day. I had to post at a certain time in the morning. Would you stop it, Kat? Like the pressure I put myself under. And especially when my page started to get bigger and then I was getting loads more follows, I was like, oh my God, I have to post something. So then I'd be tidying the house, that corner, there'd be a big mess behind me. I take a picture of it, put it up, and I'm just like, oh, this is not good. Like, you know, so I completely took a step back and I'm like, you know what, if I do a DIY, I'll do a DIY, but I'll do it on my own time. I have 2 kids. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm putting too much pressure on myself. And then I just kind of spoke to myself and go, Kat, you need to take a step back here and just take it easy, you know?
Talking to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Thomas, the millennial coach, a few weeks ago, my first YouTube video, and we were talking a bit about that. And we were kind of saying, you know, what happens to these people? Because we all do it. I struggle a little bit with it too, as a new page. You know, you're kind of hoping you're doing the right thing. And
of course.
But it is important to have that chat with yourself and say, you know, if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, if it just disappeared, then does my self-worth disappear with it? You can't kind of have yourself so tied up in Instagram that if your account was deleted tomorrow, then that's it. Your self-worth is gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like we really need to just remember that what's actually important, because it's like, you know, Instagram has been such an amazing place for me and an amazing platform, and I've made such really good friends as well. But in saying that, it doesn't pay my bills. You know what I mean? Like Vintage Irish Cat, I'm not a huge blogger. I don't even have a blog. Do you know what I mean? Like, but somehow or other, I've become like an influencer, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not. Stop it. And people are like, well, you kind of are. And I'm like, oh Jesus, like, you know, I don't know how this happened, but it did. And it was only me going along acting the aegis and giving people tips on DIY and stuff, and it kind of just grew from there. So again, I just have to remember, look, it's always been a bit of a laugh for you, and keep it that way.
Keep it, you know, absolutely right. Because I think your page is so authentic, because you're obviously not driven by the likes and the follows. It's really
no, and I'm not. There's no way you can get caught up in that, and it's very easy to. Don't get me wrong, because I used to be. But once I tore myself back and came back from that, it's so much better now, you know.
And you mentioned making friends on here, and I was really surprised when I joined Instagram, because pre-Steph B, I just had personal pages and I wasn't that into social media. I can't get over the connections I've made on Instagram.
Oh, people are so supportive. People are so supportive, and like the amount of support I got when I started my Pre-Loved by Shay and Joe little vintage shop, and I didn't know what I was doing, Stephanie. Like my nerves were gone, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm making it easy out of myself here, and what am I doing this right? Or oh God, am I overpriced? Am I doing the right pricing? And I just don't know, like, and I'm still learning, like, you know. But the amount of support I got, the amount of people that shouted out my page, and the amount of people that just the messages I get, they make my day. That's what Instagram is about. They just make my day, and it's lovely. No, it's lovely.
I think it's because it's more interactive than any other forum, you know. You feel like you can reach out to the people. Like I remember when I messaged you first, I don't see any reason not to. Do you know? That's what Instagram is about.
Yeah, and you're not kind of like, oh God, I'm mortified texting her. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, sometimes I've gotten a message of people and like, oh, I just saw you in town, and I didn't want to go over because I didn't want you thinking I'm a stalker. And I'm like, will you give over? Like, and then people are like, oh no, oh my God, I can't believe I saw you. And I'm like, I'm only a normal person. Will you stop? Like, people just
Oh,
that makes me laugh so much.
Fangirling, like total fangirling.
I'm like, stop that, give over that, will you?
They see Cat and a Skip and they're like, oh my God.
My poor neighbours, I tell you, I don't know how they put up with me, honestly.
But you probably raised the house prices on the street, in fairness. All right with it, like, you know. And tell me, is there any downside to social media that you've seen or you've found? Is there anything that you've struggled with?
Listen, look, you're going to get the odd negative comment. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, I very, very rarely, Jesus, tip the wood. Where's the wood in this house? Tip wood. I very rarely get, hey, you know, and there's the one or two comments that I have had. I will always tell my followers about it and discuss it because it always makes me feel better. And also they're always hilarious. Like, they're absolutely hilarious. Like during the first lockdown, 2 people messaged me, but it wasn't for me, but it was about me. Does that make sense? So it was just so funny. It was so funny. So that's the only bad things that's happened to me. Yeah. And so I'm blessed. Like, you know, my page is very, you know, like, I just keep it very lighthearted. I keep it very positive. I want to just make people laugh and keep it good humored. You know, people don't need to see me going on my stories and I'm moaning about every second thing. Like, you know, that's what my husband's for. Do you know what I mean?
I actually asked my followers a while back, do you feel that if we're a blogger, we should have an opinion on everything? Because I often feel other people can say things better than me, so I don't need to get on the bandwagon, as it were. You know,
yeah,
I hate that idea of the bandwagon. I'll come on and talk about stuff that I'm passionate about or I know something about, but
yeah,
I'm not going to come on if it's not in my lane. You know, other people are doing that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel you have to get on and talk about everything that's happening in the media, or you're giving?
Oh Christ, no. If it's something that, like you said, if I'm really passionate about it and it really upsets me, or I'll come on and talk about it. But no, I don't. Like, if I see something on the news and it's worldwide and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I kind of just keep myself to myself. I'll share an awful lot of pages and I'll donate and whatever, but in saying that, like, I won't come on and go, this is what I think and this is what you should be doing. Like, oh gosh. So no.
Yeah. And tell me, sorry, I'm bouncing around a bit, but I have so many things written down. I want to go back to Shay and Joe. Where's that name come from?
That's my mommy and daddy.
Ah, that's lovely.
Yeah. So
I didn't see your mom and dad on your page. I saw their picture on there. That's really cute.
Yeah, so they were like, my mother and father dressed so well when they were younger, like, and I'm just like to my mom, oh my god, mom, where's that jacket? Oh, I don't know where that is, Katrina, I don't know where that is. And even her wedding dress, she's just like, oh, I don't know what happened to my wedding dress. How do you not know what happened to your wedding dress? Oh my god, mother. And just through the 80s, she was like, she just loved her fashion, and I suppose that's where I got it from. And I just dedicated my little shop to Shay and Josephine, and yeah, so that's where the name came from.
Were they chuffed when you told them?
Yeah, look, my ma's mad, to be honest with you, Stephanie. So when I said it to her, she's like, no, I tell you, my photo should not be on this shop now. The best, yeah, ma, whatever. Like, my mother's not on social media, so she doesn't get it. She doesn't get Instagram. Do you know what I mean? So she's very out of the loop. So I'm just like, sometimes I just don't bother telling her anything. You know, like I said, ma, I have a little shop, but you go way out with that. That's what she said to me. Like, she's mother.
Keeping you real. She's keeping your feet on the ground.
Yeah. She does.
Fear of you being an influencer with your mom. I think you are, Kat. Jeez.
Oh, stop. She's gas.
My mother actually trained us in on social media. She was ahead of all of the kids.
Stop
we used to have to tell her to stop liking everything that we posted and stop sending us love hearts and things, you know, publicly. No, she's brilliant. Like,
oh my god, I would dread to think if my mother was on social media. Oh my god.
Her Facebook, my mother's Facebook business page is so successful. She's like flying. She's got
That's amazing. Oh
3
my
or 4,000
God.
followers on her Facebook. She was way ahead of all of us. Yeah.
Oh my
Brilliant. I
God.
know.
Well, then you can learn the tour thing now, Stephanie.
I
Very.
am. Yeah, she teaches me. I'm not very good at the Facebook, so I'm like, oh, did I lose you there, Kat?
Oopsie, what did I do?
What happened?
Oh.
Okay, hold on there, folks. This is live TV. Oh, there we are.
Come here.
Because remember I said I don't do editing.
Sorry, I think I switched off something there. Sorry about that.
All right. At least you were there. I was worried I'd lost you. I'd pressed something. Tell me, has lockdown changed you at all?
Has lockdown changed me? Definitely the first lockdown changed me. It kind of gave me that push to, I suppose, start my vintage shop. That, geez, Stephanie, I can't even tell you how many years I've been like, I'd love to have my own vintage shop, but no, I can't do that. Oh my God, I can't do that. And I did it. That went on for ages. And then I was just like, Katrina, Beckett, like, you know, actually, I'll tell you what changed it for me. And I haven't even discussed this, so this is an exclusive for you. So a TV channel approached me about taking part in a show for being a presenter and a designer person on it, and I did. They asked me to audition, so I auditioned, and they said, yeah, we loved you, like, can you send in a second audition doing something different, whatever. So I did, and then they came back and they were like, yeah, like, we really love you, like, they've only come back with you, so, you know, let's not say 100% yet, but most certainly it's looking good. And I'm like, oh my God. So obviously I told Adam, and I told my sister, like, oh my God, and she was like, oh my God, Kat, Jesus Christ. And then now in between them auditions, I wasn't hearing back from them for about 6 or 8 weeks, like, so long, like, so I just presumed, no, don't have it. So I was so excited, whatever. And then they came back and went, actually, we've gone with someone else, blah blah blah. Well, I was just, oh my God. And I'm like, I didn't want this in the first place. You approached me. Yeah. And then they put it into my head.
Up, like,
no, they did. And I was just like, oh my God, what an opportunity for me. Oh my God. And then I'd say for about a day and a half, I was just devastated. I was like, you start doubting yourself, going, well, why didn't they pick me? And what's wrong with me? And oh my God. And then it was in that moment, I'm like, Kat, start doing what you've always wanted to do. And I fucking did it, Stephanie. And I just went, you know what? Life is too short for this. And then I started it, and it was just the best thing I ever did. So my only advice to people out there, if you want to start something, stop thinking about it, get the ball rolling, and just do it.
It doesn't have to be perfect. That's something I've been doing with Steph B. Nothing's perfect. These YouTube videos are not perfect, but they're out there, and I'll make them perfect. It's progress, not perfection.
And and nothing's perfect. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. And I'm telling you, that was the push I needed of getting that rejection to making something happen in my life. And it was meant to be. And I'm like, and I saw the person that's doing it now, and I'm like, feck you anyway. But anyway, I'm delighted for you.
Listen, Judi Dench didn't get every role she went for, Kat. Okay?
Absolutely not.
Maggie Smith didn't either. And look at them. That's wonderful. So you basically got out of your own way.
Oh, did. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what was stopping you before? I think this is very interesting.
I was afraid. I'm not clever enough for that. Like, and oh God, no, I don't know. Like, and give up all the Jesus. And I just did it. I did it.
That's brilliant. Well done. And so how long have you had it now? So since the first lockdown?
Since I started it in August, my little shop.
Right.
So yeah.
6 months?
Yeah, great. Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, I swear to God, I thought August was only like 2 months ago to me. This is crazy.
I know, lockdown time is really weird, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's so
kind of
weird.
Time machine.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And what have you learned about yourself in the first 6 months of having your own shop?
Oh goodness. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that I need to be more organized. I'm very much off the cuff, so I just go for it. Yeah. I don't plan things. I've learned about myself as well. When I first started it, the first few weeks, I was very much looking at other pages and kind of trying to mirror them. And again, going back to my old ways. And I'm like, no, Kat, start doing it your own way. And I did. And it's so much better. Like, people are like, oh my God, because I'm like, people I think only are starting to come on to my stories on my shop just to make me look like, or that making me because I'm making an EJ out of myself because I'm dancing around in clothes. And people have said, oh no, I swear to God, I love the clothes, but the best part is you dancing around like a fucking EJ. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love watching you do your clothes, I have to say. And the kids behind you every so often, and you know, it's just so real, like.
That's my life. Do you know what I mean? So, and I can't for the life of me, Stephanie. I try to do these poses like and I'm like, no, that's just not me. I can't. I like. So this is why I think I take the piss out of everything, because I just can't take myself seriously. Like I try to be sexy in the clothes, and I'm like, I can't stop it. Like, I just can't. Like.
I love it. I am a massive messer, and I always say I don't think I could work anywhere else than my job because they seem to be okay with me. And I'm head of HR, so I really shouldn't be a messer. But I can't be serious. I just, you know, I couldn't work somewhere where I couldn't laugh all day. I couldn't.
No.
I'd actually die.
Oh Jesus, no.
Yeah. It's
definitely
so important to me. Yeah, that value of joy and having fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have a guilty pleasure? Do you believe in guilty pleasures? Do you even believe in them? Because I know some people don't even believe in such a thing as a guilty pleasure.
A guilty pleasure? Yeah, listen, Stephanie, I'm very, I love the reality TV now. Like, you know what I mean? It sucks me in. And that Made in Chelsea, I tell you when I start watching it all, when I was on maternity on Bonnie, and through the night feeds, I'd have the iPad out, she'd be on me booby, and I'm watching Towie, and I'm watching Made in Chelsea, and I'm like, this is brilliant. Yeah. This is brilliant. And I watched all the series. Addictive.
I think you have to have those kind of things to let your brain switch off.
Listen.
I think you're like me. I think we both got very busy brains, and it's really great to put your busy brain doing something.
Oh yeah.
You know, quieter.
Yeah, exactly. And I just the whole thing of it is because it's actually not real. that cracks me up. So I'm just like, this is just brilliant. Like, so that's definitely my guilty pleasure.
Have you gotten into those housewife series?
Oh no, I used to watch them all the time, but it annoyed me because I went to watch it on Netflix and it's the first and second series. I'm like, oh no, I want to know what's happening now. So I don't know where to find them, but they're brilliant. They're brilliant.
And there's a new one, myself, and you probably have seen it. There's one on Netflix. It's about a husband and wife team of interior designers.
Oh no, family. I haven't seen that. I saw people. Is it Sunset something or something?
No, I was watching that as well. I'm not as mad about that. I preferred this one. It's about a mom and dad interior design team. Their business is amazing. They moved to Utah from California and set up an interior design business. Oh my God, me and Soph, again, I'm so lucky that she likes watching this stuff with me. I just fell in love with them. We fell in love with them, their family, and then their projects they do. Oh my God.
What's the name of it?
Of course I can't remember. Like, but I shall find it and send it to you. And there's a new one now with this guy who's going around decorating for Christmas. Apparently he's like
a few people sent me that, so I need to go on that.
I'm all over that this weekend with Soph, because Queer Eye and interior design together, a gay guy, Christmas designing.
Oh yeah,
I'm all over this.
Absolutely.
Do you have a comfort food?
Yeah, chocolate and more chocolate. I never used to be mad into chocolate. Oh, I swear to God, this year Adam was just like, Kat, seriously, there's one after 8 left and you've ate the box. Like, for my chat thing tonight, I bought myself a box of after 8. Like, Stephanie, they'll be all gone tonight. I don't care either. I don't care.
Good for you. I love after 8s actually. I haven't bought one in a long time.
Love after 8s.
Plus they stay here because my husband and my daughter don't like mint chocolate. So
see, perfect.
There when I want it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Karen just popped in the chat there. It's called Studio McGee. It is so good.
Oh.
No, not as quirky as your style at all. Okay, they definitely have a look and a theme, but I still love it. I still love it.
I bet it's gorgeous.
Humongous houses because they're.
I know. Like, I've always wanted to move to America just for the houses. They're huge.
Oh my God, I love America. We spend a lot of time in America. Oh.
Me too.
Oh.
Me too.
I could transplant an American house here.
Me too.
Yeah, New England, love it. Yeah, Halloween in America.
I know.
Yeah. Are you a reader? Do you like to read a bit?
Oh, listen, I gave myself a goal this year to read 10 books. I've read none. Now, wasn't that disgraceful?
Not really. No, I'm not a book snob now, I have to say, and I don't like that.
Oh my God, no, but I really want to. But I just don't have the time. I'm like, no, I don't have the time.
Yeah. And do you
And I
have the
just have to make
concentration,
the
or
time.
is your brain always working on your shop and
Oh
things
no,
you
yeah,
want to do? And,
constantly. And of course, coming up to Christmas, I want to just show people Christmas crafts and
yeah.
how to do crafts with kids, and just to keep them busy over the Christmas. And so I just love all that. So I'm like, I've no time to read a book at this stage.
Audiobooks need to be your friend then.
No, definitely, because I'm doing a step competition on my Fitbit, and I am ridiculously competitive. Like, I mean, no, it's stupid at this stage. And I have to get over 20,000 steps a day.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
I don't know why, but anyway. So
I can't say I'm doing 50 people.
So I'm going out walking every night, and I'm always listening to Spotify, and I'm like, Kat, you have to start listening to podcasts. I've never listened to podcasts.
Oh, I've got some suggestions for you that will make your walk fly by.
Well, then listen, you'll have to send me them, because I'm desperate. And you know what? I love crime dramas as well. So somebody told me the great podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah. I just was addicted to one recently. There's two Australian ones. Addicted. Couldn't put them down. Yeah. And also then BorrowBox, you get your audiobooks for free with the library. If you're a member of the library.
Oh, see, this is what I have to do. And you know, the library is just on my road, down the bottom from my road.
So you literally just need your library number, your BorrowBox app, and boom, you can borrow 5 audiobooks at a time.
Oh, brilliant.
It's brilliant. Like, it's absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
So if you're not into like reading a book, the audiobooks will change your life.
I have to try that. I have to try that.
Yeah. So then I can't ask you your favorite book of all time, or would you have one from the past that?
Oh no, I love, like, every night I will have a little read of The Secret, or I will read What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey. I love it. So I'll always, when I'm feeling a bit uninspired or a bit full of self-doubt, I'll pick them books up, and it gives me that little push before bedtime, and hopefully the morning I'm more inspired.
That's fab. And I think it's really inspiring for people to hear you say those things about, you know, a little bit of self-doubt, a little bit of fear, because
I get that. That's definitely one of my faults. Like, I get terrible self-doubt. And another thing is about me is I worry too much of what people think, and not in the sense of, oh, what my house looks like or what I'm wearing, of what they actually think of me. And I'm like, Kat, you need to just stop. Oh my God. You know, because some people, I'm just too much for some people. And that's fine. Not everybody. I don't like everybody. So not everybody's going to like me. It's life, for God's sakes. You know, but I think too much, and it has to stop. Like, you know, I'm just like, come on.
And have you always been like that? Can you remember back to being a kid?
Oh, always. Yeah. And I'm a terrible worrier as well. But as a child, if you're going to think, here, listen, we need to stop this, because she's a bleeding mad thing. Like, my parents would go out, and I'd be afraid something had happened to them and they wouldn't come home. So I would have this terrible anxiety of my parents dying, or my sister. If my sister was out, I'd be terrified something had happened to her. I don't know where that came from.
I used to be exactly like that. I was exactly like that till my probably late 30s, early 40s.
Oh my God.
Everything.
I'm just desperate. And then even if my mother left me to school, and my teacher was off, say if your teacher is out sick, I would vomit everywhere. I'd get sick everywhere. And the school would have to call for my mom to come and get me, because I'd be uncontrollable, because, oh my God, I don't have my teacher and I have to go to a different class. Crazy.
No, it's not. It's actually so normal, but people just don't talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that mad?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I started Steph B, was to kind of share with people how I got through those worries. My husband used to say to me, if I had nothing to worry about, I would sit there worrying about why I had nothing to worry about, that there must be something going wrong. But
that's so true, though. Isn't that so true? And I get terrible, and I get this from my mother, health anxiety as well.
Yeah, I used to get that too. Yeah.
It's the worst.
So normal.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because you make yourself sick. And
I'm worse since I've had the girls, because I'm like, I have to be around for my girls. So, oh my God, what if it's this? Oh my God, it's terrible.
I found a lump in my boob when Sophie was 6 weeks old, and we had to go on holidays that very day. So I spent 2 weeks writing her letters in my head, goodbye letters. Right?
No, but that's what happens.
Yeah, but I went to the doctor, I came home, and he went, oh, it's just a pawpaw. I said, okay, what is a pawpaw? He said, it's just a thing in your skin. I was like, let's get the test anyway, because I have to wait a long time for this child, and I want to make sure.
Oh no, but this is the thing. And I had a lump on my breast, and I got it checked, and I was fine. And then when I lived in London, I found more I found another lump. And then when I went to the consultant, he went, you don't have one lump, you have 6. And then but he was, I remember him being really abrupt and not like, you know, understanding or anything. And then I went for the scan and everything was fine. But in that moment, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to die. Yeah, I'm going to die.
Goodbye, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, terrible.
Yeah, but it's so normal. And there's so many ways we can help ourselves with that. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really one of the reasons I set up Steph B, was to help people get out of that anxiety. And I'm not a counsellor. It's not that
so good though, but no, it's so good. And I think half the battle is talking about it, isn't it?
And just knowing it's normal.
Yeah.
So tell me then about vulnerability. How comfortable are you with vulnerability, and how do you express it when you're feeling that way?
Like, no, I'd be fairly comfortable now with that. I'm not. I would feel there's certain situations you're always in that you feel a bit vulnerable. You know, like I remember I went to interior awards in the UK, and you know, there was people who were proper interior designers there, like, you know, and I felt so vulnerable. I felt out of place. I felt very that I shouldn't have been there. So it was I didn't like that feeling, and it's not nice. You know, you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough to be here. But then on the other side, you're just like, well, you can't stop being you in front of these people. Do you know what I mean? So that was weird. That's when I felt quite vulnerable. But to be honest with you, other than that, it's not. I think when you're around people who are a bit different than you feel a bit more vulnerable. But other than that, no, I'd be fairly confident in myself and, you know, true to myself and all, you know.
Yeah. And if you could go back to little Kat, is there anything you'd tell her?
Oh, don't worry as much. Things will always turn out in the end. And life is about making mistakes, because that's how you learn. So I would definitely say relax and enjoy yourself. Now, in saying that, I enjoyed myself in my 20s, Stephanie. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
I don't remember a lot of them, but sure, look, I was told I had a good time.
Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely worry less and take every opportunity that comes to you, you know.
And in saying that, is there anything that excites you right now?
Yeah, no, definitely. My little shop gives me, like, I just love it, and I've never had anything that much that I've been doing that I love, you know. So I love it. I just love it, and it's mine, and I can, you know, do it whenever I want. It's on my schedule, and you know, that's what I love about that. But yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm very excited for Christmas this year, where I wasn't last year for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm very excited. We're decorating the house for Christmas this weekend, so I'm very excited for Christmas. I think it's been a very long and kind of difficult and sad year for a lot of people, and especially them Christmas ads that are going around. I think everybody's realized what's important in life now is your bloody family, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And how much do you decorate? Do you decorate lots of rooms? One room?
Oh yes, I'll put a bit in the bathroom and everything. Do you know what I mean? Why not, Stephanie? If you don't go big, don't go home. Like, do you know what I mean? So
I'm with you. Listen, I'm with you. We're mad about Christmas here, so we have 2 big trees.
Oh yeah, has to be done. Like, I've one big tree, and then I'll put a little tree in the living room, you know. But I'll put the big tree out in the playroom for the girls, because because Santa comes down the chimney there, so they'll just. That's where everyone.
Where does Santa leave his stuff? In the playroom?
Yeah, in the playroom. Yeah.
And have the girls written their list? Are they sorted with what they want?
Yes, they all know what they want. Bonnie's only 2, so
yeah,
Santa will just give her what he thinks.
He feels like. you know she needs some socks.
Yeah, but no, Santa's well sorted now. We had a chat with Santa, and we said, look, Santa, this is what they want. So he's all sorted, you know.
Awesome. And what's your oldest girl's name? Sorry, Nancy. She's very excited. I say at 6. This is like peak.
Oh no, she's so excited. Honest to God, like she can't wait. And Bonnie still doesn't really. She's just like, she doesn't get it yet.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
she's 2.5, so she's like la la la. Like she'll just be like in the morning, wow, wow, wow. But yeah, it's great with Nancy because she really understands it, and you know, she's being a bit cheeky. I'm just like, Nancy, Santa's listening to you, so don't speak to mommy and daddy like that. She's just like.
I used to find, and I'll see if it happens this year because Sophie's a bit older, obviously. But I used to find running up to Christmas, the behaviour really got worse coming up to Christmas.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, you just watch because he's watching you.
Yeah, it's like the excitement, they can't cope with it, and it has to come out in naughty behaviour. But I'll be interested to see if it happens this year, because writing the Santa list this year was a little more transactional than it's ever been before. A little bit disappointing. Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it was a little. I was like, "Do you want to tell him you love him like you used to?" Oh, okay, yeah. Like, oh, so I'm wondering, will it be as exciting as it has?
I know.
Yeah, 8.5. It's just. But anyway, but 6 and 7, the peak years. Have you booked any experiences? Or are you gonna kind of just?
Well, yeah, we actually booked Palmerstown House, but we've cancelled it now because they turned it into a drive-through, and we had to pay for that on top of what we paid for, because they're like, no, you can transfer it to next year. Like, dude, come on. Like, so we just cancelled it. And we just said, look, we got a virtual thing. So I found somebody on Instagram, and it's Santa's Snow Globe, and they'll send gifts to the house, and we're going to do like it's a Zoom, so we're gonna put on the television, and there's dancing with elves, and then a story with Mrs. Claus, and then Santa then. So happy days. Yeah, it's in the comfort of our own home as well. So happy out.
Oh, that's fab. I'm going to ask you a few quick fire.
Yeah.
Towards the end, favorite movie? I always am interested in your 80s movies.
God,
what is it about 80s
favorite movie? I have 50 million favorite movies, but my top favorite movie would have to be Cocktail, because it just makes me so happy to watch it. I love it.
Really?
Yeah,
I love it. I think I've only seen it once. Isn't that shocking?
I'll put it on again because it's just a feel-good movie. I love it.
I love a good feel-good movie. A real good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And last show you binged?
Oh, sugar, what was it? It was something on Netflix. Oh my goodness, what was it? Now we're watching Undoing at the moment, which I'm absolutely addicted to.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh God, it's brilliant. But it's only on the telly at the moment on Sky, and we have to wait till next week for the next one. But 100% recommend that to everybody. Undoing. Start watching it.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite concert you've been to?
Oh, a favorite concert? Well, to be honest with you, I went to Spice Girls last year, and I was like, oh, is it going to be good? It was absolutely fantastic. It was brilliant. Such a laugh. It was such a buzz. The atmosphere was great. Apart from that one, I think after that would have been maybe U2 in Croke Park years ago. It was amazing as well.
Yeah. Were you a Spice Girls fan the first time around?
No, I wasn't actually. Would you believe?
Yeah,
I wasn't mad into them. Like, I was more of Oasis fan. I was more into, and Spice Girls were just not cool enough for me. And I was like, I'm Oasis. Sorry.
Was it the Oasis Blur thing? Do you remember that?
Oh no, I was completely Oasis and Blur. Like, I was just like, no, I love them both. Like, you know.
I lived in Jersey at the time though, and you had to pick one when you lived in Jersey. You were either the Oasis heads or the Blur heads. I did love them both though, I have to say. Yeah. A snapshot of an ordinary moment in your life that brings you joy.
Oh my goodness. I suppose when I have my girls, like, it's just, there's no feeling like it. There's not, like, I think now if I was a bit younger, I'd have more kids. But I think I'd love to. But Adam is like, no way. We have 2 girls. I know for a fact if we went again, we'd have another girl and then another girl. So,
chasing the boy.
So no, he's happy out. I'm happy out. But yeah, there's no better joy. There's no better joy.
Big families are coming back in vogue, I have to say.
Oh, I think so too.
Big time. Yeah. Like 3 is normal now. When we were kids, 2 was very normal.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
yeah. And in Sophie's class, she's the only child in her class, and there's a couple of families of 5s.
I just, but see, I don't even know where to put 5 kids. I'd have to buy a new house.
This is have to redecorate.
Oh my God, yeah. I just don't know where I'd put them.
Something that you're really grateful for right now?
Oh, do you know what? I'm very grateful for my health.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. I'm just grateful for my health.
All that worrying is paid off, Kat.
Absolutely. Look at me.
You're ahead of yourself.
I'm glowing so healthy.
And what's your favorite word?
My favorite word. I think my favorite word is deadly.
Yeah, I love that word.
I use it a lot, and not many people use it anymore. And I'm just like, come on, let's just bring deadly back.
I love deadly. Yeah.
Everything is deadly. So yeah, deadly.
Yeah. I grew up in Tallaght, so deadly was a well used word. Yeah. What side of the city are you?
Oh, I'm originally from Crumlin.
Oh, I went to school in Crumlin.
I went
to school. I went to Loretto in Crumlin.
So did I.
God, we need to check years afterwards.
How old are you?
47.
Oh my God, you probably know my sister.
Who's your sister?
My sister's 47.
We need to talk. It's gas.
Hilarious. Oh my God.
Small world, isn't it?
The whole of Tallaght went to my school.
Yeah.
There's no schools in Tallaght. Like,
my mom was really into my mom was a convent girl and really wanted to be a convent girl, so Crumlin made sense. And yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't a bad school.
I
was in it anyway.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great school. Yeah. I moved to Selfridge and I carried on going to Crumlin, believe it or not.
No way.
I could talk to you longer about the belonging thing because that was my problem. I was like, I can't leave Crumlin. It means I have to make new friends midway through secondary school. That is not happening. I will take 2 buses a day to avoid that. I was like, not happening. So what else am I? Oh yeah, favorite swear word. Sorry, deadly. Deadly took me off there.
Listen, it has to be simple. Fuck off. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm terrible at cursing, but I've gotten way better now because the girls listen to me now. That's the problem. So when they were younger, I'd be effing and blinding me, F this, F that. But no, I've gotten a lot better now, especially on my stories as well, because they're in the background, they can hear me. So I make sure they're not around when I'm effing out of me.
I swear like a sailor in work, and I'm really good at home. Really good. It's like I have 2 brains. Yeah,
exactly. You just learn to kind of switch it off. Like if I'm with the girls or anything, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm fucking, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, there's no need, Cass, stop it.
Potty mouth.
I know.
What profession would you do if you could do anything and skills wasn't an issue, right? That I don't have to worry about, I didn't go to college for this or whatever. Like, no, skills are no issue.
Oh, do you know what, Stephanie? I'd love to be a detective. I'd love to be like a FBI agent, because I'd be deadly. I'd be just like, I'd get my gun out and all. And I don't know. I'd be like a Cagney and Lacey kind of detective.
Runners. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's what I'd love now.
Cool. Who else do you think I should interview? Who would be worth seeing?
See, there's so many people. There's so many people. Do you know who'd be lovely? And I just really love her account lately. And she's a mammy of 5, and she's always bringing out wonderful content. And it's House by the Whitethorns.
Oh, I love her. Yeah.
And she just seems a pet. She just seems a pet. And you know what? I met her at an awards last year, and she was just so genuine, and one of the only ones to come up to me who was lovely to me. So
that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's nice.
She was.
I shall ask her.
Yeah, why not?
Put in a good word for me, right?
I will. I will.
Thank you so much, Kat. It's been an
Thank you so much.
Joy. And after I stop recording, I'm going to ask you about your sister and all that stuff, right? Thanks a million. You're very good.
Thank you so much.